Hello everybody and welcome to the official Hashinshin patch 12.12 Hashinshin review. This week we're going to be going through every champion in grave excessive detail. We're going to be telling you guys everything you need to know about these champions to a degree that you don't even want to know, but you will be forced to learn everything because I won't shut up. So what have we got this week? We've got a decently big patch because we're going after the durability update. This is the second patch from the durability update. So we have lots of nerfs, lots of buffs, lots of champion adjustments, system adjustments, some new skins, some bug fixes. Nerfs to Bel'Veth, Dr. Mundo, Fiora, Janna, Lucian, Singed, Viego, and Zeri. Buffs to Amumu, Annie, Blitzcrank, Heimerdinger, Ivern, Jarvan IV, Seraphine, and Yorick, as well as adjustments to Katarina, Shaco, Soraka Yuumi, and some systems right there. First up, we have the Amumu Buff. Now, before I go into this, I want to remind everybody that I did have food poisoning, so what I'm going to be doing is we're making up with lack of energy for extremely nerdy, super nerd talk that I'm going to go way into depth on this stuff, okay? Yeah, that's about it. So, Amumu, what's going on with Amumu? Well, this is at Masters Plus. Amumu is doing, well, poorly. See, Amumu typically has about a 52% win rate at all ranks, and then that goes down to a 47-48% at Masters Plus. That keeps him not viable, but not terrible, so at the very least, at the mid to high ranks, he can be playable. Right now, Amumu is barely playable, even at all ranks, so this is at the low ranks, Amumu is barely playable. So that's not really how they do balance. There are some champions like Trundle, like Rammus, that just historically always sit at high win rates at the low ranks so that they can be somewhat playable as you go up the ranks. Amumu isn't playable, so they are giving his Q, his Bandage Toss. Now remember, that has 2 charges, so he has to cast that twice, reducing the base mana cost by 40, but it goes down, or sorry, I should say it goes up to 50, and they're increasing the base damage on his ultimate by 50. So definitely early to mid game, he's going to need far less mana, which is good for him, and he will also do a little bit more damage on his ultimate. I don't think this is going to be nearly enough, obviously, but look, it's one of those things where it's like, hey, maybe you don't want the tank running out of mana mid-fight every single time, you know? So, yeah, I guess Amumu being one of the only champions who ran out of mana was finally a bit too much. As for Annie, the durability update has made Annie no longer able to burst people, which was intended, so now they're buffing her damage. Personally, my opinion, they could maybe revert the nerf they did to her shield, which I believe, if I look this up here, they did do a nerf to her shield a little bit ago because she was laning a bit too well against, let me see if I can find this here. Yeah, let's see. Oh, they actually did nerf the disintegrate AP ratio a bit ago. Well, I mean, that's probably fine. I don't know. I think it wasn't the AP, it was the movement speed on Molten Shield. I think maybe they could give back the movement speed on Molten Shield, but I guess giving back the AP ratio on her Q, I didn't know that was actually nerfed. I totally forgot about that. I guess that's fine. I don't know. Annie's not doing that well. Obviously, she's a one-shot champion when one-shot champions aren't doing that great. So they're giving her just a slight touch-up on the AP ratio on her Q. In addition, they're making Tibbers tankier. I don't really know why, but I guess later on you'll see that they were buffing Ivern's Daisy because Daisy was actually too squishy, and a lot of Ivern players were complaining that it was dying to smite and stuff. And so I guess they just sort of buffed Tibbers too, because if we're buffing Ivern's old pet, we might as well buff Annie's old pet, but I'm not sure that exactly follows right. They're sort of different. Despite being similar, they're pretty different. Bel'Veth. Okay, so here's the thing with Bel'Veth. If we go to all ranks and look at jungle, she is a new champion with a 54% win rate on the first patch. She should have been hotfix nerfed. No doubt in my mind, she should 100% have been hotfix nerfed. Even at Masters Plus, she's crawled her way up to a 48.63% win rate on the first patch as a champion who's not even supposed to be good at Masters Plus. So there's a clear systematic problem here with this champion. So what are they doing? They're nerfing her late game a bit. I could go through that. Let me try to see if I can go through. So they're giving her more attack range at level 1, but the attack range from her ultimate is going down. So in other words, when she doesn't have her ultimate, she'll have more attack range, and when she's in her ultimate, she will no longer get more attack range at level 11 and 16 than she'll have after this change. It's not really that big a deal. They're also capping her passive at level 13 instead of level 18. It used to scale all the way to level 18 how much attack speed she would gain per Lavender stack. Now it will only scale to level 13. Once again, late game nerf. She can gain a stack and a large minion, so I guess laning Bel'Veth will be better. Her health regen is going down. Her health regeneration growth is going down. I'm assuming this is to try to make her not able to lane, which then makes it kind of suspect. Why did you make her not able to lane by massively nerfing her health regen if then you were gonna put this weird change here that allowed her to lane? It seems a bit weird. It's like, man, people want Bel'Veth to be able to lane. I know, we'll let her get a stack of lavender on cannon minions. And then they were like 2 seconds later, they were like, oh no, Bel'Veth can lane, we better fix that. So, Royal Maelstrom, one of the most broken abilities that has ever been added into League of Legends, is getting its damage nerfed. At max rank, it's going from 20 to 16, more late game nerfs, and the lifesteal at max rank is going from 28 to 26%, more late game nerfs. In addition, her percent health true damage on her ultimate, which I have literally no idea why she has. If anyone could actually figure out why she has that percent health true damage, make sure to inform me. And Joan, just fill me in on why she has percent health true damage on her ultimate. And yeah, so instead of 25 to 35, it'll now be 25% flat. In addition, the little voidlings that she summons from killing minions will now have their health reduced in the early game. So overall, massive nerfs. Pretty large nerfs on everything. Will it be enough? I don't even know. I mean, look, I'm sorry to ride, but like, this is one of the most broken champions you've ever added in a League of Legends. This champion has a 54% win rate on the first patch at all ranks. This is Master Yi taken to an extreme. Master Yi currently has a 49% win rate, and then Master Yi goes down, if I scroll all the way down, to a 43%. So Master Yi, do you see the issue here, Riot? In order to get Bel'Veth to be balanced at all ranks, she's just gonna have to be absolutely unplayable Plat Plus. I don't think this was a good design. I don't think you did a good job. I actually very much give you much criticism on this one. This was a terrible champion design. I don't know what you were doing with this. This is awful. You should just not have an infinitely scaling, true damage spamming, melee auto attack tanky thing. This was a terrible idea. Why did you add percent health true damage again? This was awful. This was terrible. This whole thing was terrible. She will need to be horribly underpowered at anywhere Plat Plus in order to be balanced at all ranks. This is a bad idea. That's it. That's all I have to say. Remember, make sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment on your feelings on my feelings. Blitzcrank. Okay, so I actually don't like this Blitzcrank change. Rocket Grab is going to do more damage, and Static Shield, that's his ultimate explosion, is going to do more damage. Here's my problem with this, right? My problem with this is that we did the durability update so people wouldn't die. Now we're going back and going to the champions that kill people and buffing their damage. I do believe, Riot, I do believe you could go back, give him back his health regen, give him back his base armor. You could do things like that, okay? I think that would be fine. And if you gave him back his base armor and you gave him back his base health regen, he would still be totally fine. You think he's a little bit underpowered? That's great. Don't buff his damage. Buff his survivability. The entire reason we got into the durability update is you guys keep getting the idea that every champion should have a kill combo. Well, no, and that's why we needed the durability update. Getting hit by Rocket Grab should not instantly kill your champion from full. And as we're seeing here, they very clearly, with 15 more damage here and 25 more damage here, they very clearly intend for Rocket Grab to kill you from full again, which is dumb. Okay. Dr. Mundo. So after the tank item buffs, and if you want, you can go look at the last patch if you want to look at that, but they buffed all the tank items in the game. Shockingly, Dr. Mundo got, well, way better. So much better that at all ranks, he's dominating. Well, I'm sure he's still dominating. Oh, no. He completely falls off a cliff. Oh, actually, he doesn't totally fall off a cliff into Masters Plus. good job on that one, I guess. So what they're doing is they're nerfing his passive health regen, and they're nerfing his ult, the amount, because, okay, so he gets passive health regen, he just regenerates health over time for free, right? Everybody gets that, and they're nerfing that amount. He used to heal 1 to 2% health per 5 seconds, just indefinitely, for existing. They're nerfing that to 0.8 to 1.6%, so they're reducing it by 20%. Then, if you guys remember, his ultimate gives him more health based on how much health he is missing. And because he gains more total health, that means that he then heals more on his ultimate, he heals more on his passive, he heals more from his passive canister, stuff like that. So, they are nerfing the amount of increased base health he gets from his ultimate. Between these two changes, this definitely affects him more at the higher ranks. This one affects him pretty much everywhere. I'm not really sure why they give him a nerf that affects his high rank so much. I'm not really sure why they did that, but that's what they did. Okay. Oh, I also forgot. Yeah, they nerfed Grievous Wounds. So I don't think Grievous Wounds was the big deal anyway. I think the big deal was them nerfing, buffing tank items. I think buffing tank items had more to do with why Mundo was doing good. That's just my opinion, obviously. Fiora, okay, so Fiora, can we bring up Fiora here, right? Here's the thing, you buffed Fiora, was it last season, and she's been broken ever since. You can see right here, her passive was 2.5% with a 4.5% AD ratio. They buffed that to 3% with a 5.5% AD ratio. They're now nerfing it down, back down to the 4.5% AD ratio. But that doesn't, right, she still has more flat damage. It's gone from 2.5 to 3, so it's sitting at the 3. All you've done is undone the AD ratio. This is stupid. Look, Riot, I assure you, a counter pick champion, a champion who is supposed to be a counter pick, is not, and I repeat, not balanced if they are the #1 pick with a 36% ban rate. A counter pick champion, a champion who counters other champions, should be like down here. Like where Renekton is, where Shen is. Not up here, the #1 pick. And nerfing the late game doesn't really affect the Masters Plus that much. Fiora having a stronger early game than ever. Fiora, remember when they did the durability update, everybody got more health, everybody got more armor. Fiora does percent health true damage, so she ignores health and she ignores armor by just killing you no matter what. Nerfing the AD ratio down, you're just returning her to where she was, and now she's just gonna be broken for another season. Look, right, I beg you. I've been banning Fiora for 7 fucking years. Not every top laner who wants to play certain champions should have to ban Fiora. She is really, really bad for the game's balance, and I'm really considering making a video on this shit because this is stupid. You shouldn't have a champion who is a counter pick but is also the #1 pick. Do you know what happens in this world? You can't pick certain champions. Certain champions in the game just cannot be selected anymore. You see champions like Kled just can't be picked anymore because they'll just get Fiora'd. If you want her to be a more balanced champion, then you need to nerf her ability to counter other champions. Parry needs to be nerfed. Her percent health true damage needs to be nerfed. But the problem is then you're running into the issue that all she really does is counterpick. She is a counterpick. She's fundamentally a counterpick. So when you take away her counterpicking, she's not really an interesting champion anymore. So yeah, you're nerfing her, but this doesn't do anything to fix the core issue of a counterpick being a first pick. Let's go into Heimerdinger. Okay, so Heimerdinger is an anti-melee pick. What are they doing? They're buffing his ability to beat melee. Why? I don't know. So his turrets are gaining more health. It's from 25 to 125 more health as the game progresses, which makes it way harder for melee champions to deal with him. Then the damage from his turrets is going up, making it way harder for melee champions to deal with him. Then his electric storm grenade cooldown is going down, reducing the downtime between when he can insta-get melee champions. So basically he's just going to be he's just going back to shitting on melee again. Right, could you maybe change it, just as a thought, could you maybe change it so that melee champions just one-shot his turrets? Or maybe melee champions get like 15 gold if they kill a turret? Because it's really, really, really dumb that you keep buffing him to deal with ranged champions, and you keep buffing him to try to be bot lane, but then every time you do this, he just goes to top lane. And don't lie to me, okay? It is dumb. It is really, really dumb. I assure you, this is some of the dumbest shit. I'm looking at Fiora because I said dumbest shit, so I just looked at Fiora. But it's dumb. It's dumb fighting Heimerdinger. It doesn't matter if he's balanced or not. It's just unfun. He automatically beats every melee champion in the early game in melee. He automatically beats every melee champion in the early game. But then he gets outscaled. Now, could you deal with that issue maybe? Could you deal with the fact that he just automatically wins early, then gets outscaled against melee? Because it's not really fun that you just have to sit back and do nothing, but then once you're at 2 or 3 items, you can tank through his combo and just run him down. This isn't good balance. Ivern. Okay, so I need to explain Ivern for some of you guys, because some of you guys don't actually understand what's happening with Ivern. Riot made a bit of a boo-boo, oopsie doopsie poopsie here. So Ivern, whenever he puts a grove on the camp, now remember, Ivern doesn't fight the camps. He puts his little mark on the camp, and then he can come back later and suck it up, just suck up the camp. And putting the mark on a camp costs him a amount of health based on his base health, and amount of mana based on his base mana. The problem is, when they buffed every champion's health, that meant that Ivern actually started to take more health to suck up the camp. Okay? Which made him actually weaker? Because whereas other champions got tankier, he was using a lot of his base HP, particularly in the early game, to suck up camps, which isn't good. So they're reducing the base health cost to suck up camps by a really large amount, particularly into the late game. The mana cost is also going down by a large amount, particularly into the late game. The trigger shield, trigger seed is also going up by 10 to 30, which is pretty good. And then Daisy is getting tankier. Now, this is what people were actually complaining about, not the Annie thing. I don't know if anyone ever complained about Tibbers not being tanky enough, but a lot of Ivern players were complaining that all you needed to do to kill Daisy was smite her and hit her with like 2 abilities and she was dead. And because Ivern relied on Daisy, this made her really bad, and this made Ivern really bad. So they're going through, they're giving Daisy 50 to 150 more HP, and then 5 to 10 more armor and magic resist. So that should hopefully alleviate the concerns of Ivern players that Daisy's too squishy. And it also gives them more shield and also reduces their health cost. This is actually fairly substantial buffs, to be honest. Unfortunately, Ivern's not even showing up at Masters Plus Jungle anymore because he's so underpicked. Does he show up at Plat Plus? Nope, he's not even showing up at Plat Plus. Does he show up at all ranks? Nope. Unfortunately, Ivern literally does not show up. I'm looking at top lane. Oops. Everyone ignore that just happened. So at all ranks, he's got a 45% win rate, second lowest pick rate. At Plat Plus, he has 47% with a 0.7%. And at Masters Plus, he is 49% with a 1%. See, this is what I'm kind of worried about. These are some fairly substantial large buffs. Fixing removing one of his counters, buffing his shield a good chunk, and then buffing his passive. I get the fearing, that's feeling, but with fear, I get the fearing that Ivern is going to shoot way up, and then he's going to be like a top 20 pick, 53% win rate. We have enough broken junglers right now, Riot. You guys need to spend a lot of time nerfing down some of these junglers who are just utterly breaking the game right now. That would be really nice of you. As for Janna, okay, so Janna doesn't need a lot to explain. Janna is very overpowered right now, but she's not overpowered in like a big way, so to speak. She's not overpowered like, oh my god, this champion is destroying the game type deal, right? She's just like, everything she does is just a little bit too good. It's weird, but even at 54% win rate, like when I fight Janna, I think, oh yeah, she's overpowered. But I don't really think like, oh my god, she's breaking the game. I just think like, oh yeah, she's overpowered. So Her movement speed that she gets from her W is going down. The slow on her W is going down, and her Eye of the Storm shield is going down, both the scaling and the flat amount. In total, this is just a nerf to bring down her win rate. This is when I actually do agree. When you nerf a champion in a way that doesn't really fix any of their problems, I actually don't think Janna has many problems. She's kind of like a really old kit that's been adjusted a lot, so I don't really think she has any problems anymore. I think fundamentally the issue is just that she's overpowered. So this is one of the few times I think, yeah, just nerf her numbers and that actually fixes the champion. A lot of times they'll nerf the numbers on a champion, like, oh, I don't know, Fiora. They'll just nerf her numbers and be like, good enough, everyone, we did it. We put in the minimum effort. Like, Fiora's overpowered. Oh man, should we figure out any way that she's overpowered? Should we look into the issue? Should we actually maybe do anything at all? No, just make her numbers lower. Balanced forever. Right. Jarvan. Okay, so Jarvan's getting more mana growth by a lot. His mana at level 18 is going up by, what is it? 250. That is a chunk of hunk of mana. In addition, the cooldown on his passive is going down. Now, I want to be clear on this one. Jarvan can go ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people in a row. The passive on his cooldown is only per champion, or I should say per target. So he can hit 9 people in a row and proc it on all 9 people in a row, but he can't proc it on the same target for 6 seconds. They're changing that, the same target, from 6 seconds to 6, 5, 4, 3. So in other words, Jarvan's passive will now come up again and can potentially use it a second or maybe even third time in a fight. Now remember, Jarvan's passive is also current health damage, so the lower health you are, the less damage it's going to do. So don't think that this is going to be like a huge buff and Tank Jarvan is going to, you know, start spamming percent health and killing people. No. In fact, if I look at the actual numbers, and I'm going to pull up these actual numbers, they're not really high. I think it's actually only like 8% health damage. Yeah, it's only 8% current health. So that's only, okay, let's put it this way. Jarvan's passive is only 66% of a single Blade of the Ruined King proc. In other words, this isn't breaking the game if he can potentially use it twice after he's already burst you to low HP. Okay? Katarina. So Katarina is stupid and really poorly designed right now. Basically, they tried so hard to ensure that Katarina could be played in multiple different ways. They tried so hard. They were like, we want to make sure that Katarina can go Divine Sunderer and that Katarina can go Death's Dance, and oh, this is such a good idea. But the problem is, that's stupid. Ensuring that your cheese stupid build is viable, that your favorite stupid build is viable, actually does large damage to the game, right? And this did large damage to the game. We saw Katarina into any matchup where the opponent wasn't really that mobile, or maybe was mobile, or really any matchup at all, she was literally just going Divine Sunderer, which at the high ranks meant that she was literally just E spamming everyone, because her E, Shinpo, her dash, was proccing on hits, which means Divine Sunderer, which means she was literally just throwing a dagger at you, Eing onto you, proccing Divine Sunderer. If you dashed out of the dagger, she'd E into you again, proccing Divine Sunderer. Then she'd press W, and then if you dodge that dagger, she'd E onto you again, Divine Sunderer. Then she'd ult, get a few procs, and you'd be dead. So what are they doing? Because Riot, the stupid dum-dums Riot, literally could not stop trying to force AD Katarina to be viable. Well, the AD ratio on her passive is going down. If she hits you with her passive, it will now do less damage if she's built AD. The AD ratio on her E is going down, which includes her base AD, I should mention. So her base damage is also going down. She's getting 5 damage to compensate, but 10% AD is more. So her E damage flat is going down. Her passive AD ratio is going down. Now, they're wording this really shittily, but assuming these patch notes aren't bugged or mislabeled or something like that, physical damage per dagger is going from 16% plus 12.8% per 1.0 total attack speed to 16% plus 16% per 0.7 total attack speed. So the problem with this is they are wording this really oddly. So it's being buffed really hard, actually. 12.8% per 1.0 attack speed means if you get 1.0 attack speed, you get 12.8% more AD ratio on her ultimate, right? But 16% per 0.7, just to be clear, that would mean that she is going from 12.8% per 1.0 attack speed to 22.8% per 1.0 attack speed. I don't know why they're rewording it like this to seemingly hide. Are they trying to hide how much they're buffing her passive? This is a bit weird, right? I'm not really sure what you're doing with this one. I'm not gonna lie. This is really dumb, and I don't know why why lie? It's so weird. Why lie? Why are they lying? Why are you trying to hide that you're nearly doubling the attack speed ratio into physical damage? Now, this will make Blade of the Ruined King Katarina way better, actually. So I'm not really sure what they're doing with this one, but the on-hit effectiveness per dagger is also going up by 3%. So from 25 to 35 to 28 to 38. So her AP build, that is Nashor's Tooth, is being buffed, and her AD build with Blade of the Ruined King instead of Divine Sunder is also being buffed. I'm not 100% what's going on with this one. I'm gonna be blunt to everybody. I don't really understand this one. Like, these changes made sense. Okay, we're nerfing her AD build, right? Because the AD build is stupid and horribly abusive. But then down here, they're buffing the AP build for no reason, and then they're buffing the AD on hit build really hard. I don't understand, man. Sometimes Riot does stuff. It literally feels like they get bored. I'm gonna be honest. It feels like they get bored. They're just like sitting there like. Has anyone played Blade of the Ruined King Katarina lately? No? Oh man, we should buff that. That's it. That literally feels like their entire thought process. So Lucian is getting nerfed. Why is Lucian getting nerfed? Because when you play Lucian with his best matchups, sorry, his best, what do you call it? Duos, he's really overpowered. Apparently Lucian Nami is losing? That's interesting. Probably because people are being dumb as shit. I don't know. Anyway, Lucian, when paired with the right champion, is very overpowered. So what are they doing? They are nerfing him baseline. Not his passive. No. Not Lucian's passive, where he can get absolutely ludicrous damage from an ally enchanter buffing him. They're not nerfing that. That's good for the game. Lucian having duos that enable him to just sort of automatically win the lane, that's good for the game. Everyone knows you should win or lose at champion select, right? But Lucian being good at all, that's bad for the game. So we need to kill Lucian as a champion so that he is literally only viable when playing with very specific champions. I don't know, man. I don't know. Seraphine is getting buffed. Seraphine is not really in need of a buff. I'm gonna be completely blunt with you guys. Seraphine does quite good as a bot lane carry, quite good. And while she is not doing good as a support, pretty bad right here, you can see 48%. She's not doing good as a support, and she is not doing good as a mid laner. Well, she's doing okay, 50%. I mean, it's decent. She's doing quite good as a bot lane carry in the bot role, replacing the ADC. So they are buffing her E. Her E, instead of being an 11 to 9 second cooldown, will be 10 seconds flat. Then the slow stun root duration thing, I don't know why they said slow stun, it's slow root and stun, depending on, well, whatever. That is going from 1 second to 1.5 seconds. I'm a little bit wary of this one because that's a very long duration buff. That's all I have to say about this one. That makes me a little bit concerned, right? Going from 1 to 1.5, I mean, just right to 1.5, huh? Didn't even stop at 1.25, just right up to 1.5. So she's been at 1 second for like nearly 2 years now, and then you're like in one patch randomly you're just like 1.5. Okay. Shaco. Okay, what's going on with Shaco? So Shaco is getting his base health growth and armor growth decreased. His QAD ratio increased. His WAP ratio increased. His QAD and AP ratio increased. I'm not going to go through every one of these changes except, okay, fine. I'll go through every one of these changes. You guys talk to me and do it. So his health growth per level is going down. Losing him was at 70 HP at level 18. His armor growth is going down. Losing him 11 armor. 70 HP and 11 armor at level 18. Undoing a lot of the durability update. To make up for that, his QAD ratio is going up from 0.25 to 0.4. That's a pretty decent buff. I mean, that can backstab too, right? Q Jack in the Box, its AP ratio is going up from 0.9 to 0.12, which again, that is a large buff to its AP ratio. And his E, that's where he throws and goes shank, shank, shank. That thing is getting its AD and AP ratio buffed. So from 0.7 AD to 0.75 and from 0.5 AP to 0.6. So AP ratio, AP Shaco is getting the larger buff here, but AD Shaco is also getting a buff. They're buffing his damage and nerfing his survivability, which, okay, Riot, can we please talk about this? You can't do a durability update making everyone actually tanky and then go back and be like, now we need to make these champions squishier to do more damage. Like, Riot. Do we really want to be back during doing the durability update part 2 in a couple years after you keep doing a bunch of these changes? I don't think we want to be there, Riot. My recommendation is to stop doing changes like these. You're doing them all over. Stop doing changes like this, okay? You could give Shaco more utility. You could give Shaco more something, right? If you wanted to buff him, you can do something else. If he's building as a bruiser, that's honestly, that's fine. Like Nocturne builds as a bruiser. You want Shaco to be an assassin? I don't know, but this screams badness to me. It screams really bad that you are constantly buffing the damage on most champions that you're buffing. None of them are getting survivability upgrades, and a lot of them are losing survivability to gain more damage. Singed mid is apparently horribly overpowered. I don't get it. At Masters Plus it falls off pretty hard. I shouldn't say pretty hard, it falls off, but at Platinum and at all ranks, Singed mid is dominating really hard. I don't know why. I fought a couple of Singed mids and he just seems to run around and roam and then he falls off. So what is Riot doing? They're making his early game weaker and his late game stronger. His W slow is going from 60% flat to 50 to 70%. His R is going from 30 to 90 to 20 to 100. So his late game is getting stronger and his early game is getting weaker. That's about it. Nothing more to say. I don't really know what's going on with Singed mid. I don't get it. I truly don't get it. Like I to this day, I fought against him a few times and he just seems to pop Ghost and Predator and then just like and that's about it. He can get a few kills with it and then like I don't know, he gets like 2 or 3 kills in the laning phase from roaming and then he just sort of falls off. So I haven't really had any issues with it besides I guess it's annoying. I don't know. Soraka, they're removing the Grievous Wounds from Soraka's ultimate, or I should say they're removing the Grievous Wounds removal from Soraka's ultimate. Her ultimate will no longer remove Grievous Wounds, but the flat healing is going up by 25 to 75. Personal opinion, Soraka is definitely going to get hurt by this change, 100%. 25 to 75 does not make up for removing Grievous Wounds. Particularly because she would always R into a W, so she'd like ult and then immediately animation cancel that into a heal so that she could double heal her AD carry. Well, now she can't do that. So this is a substantial nerf to Soraka. We can see at all ranks, she's a 51% win rate. At Masters Plus, she's a 51% win rate. This is going to be a substantial nerf to Soraka, and I think her win rate will probably go down by 1 to 2%. Leaning more towards the 2%, and I think that Riot will come back and buff her soon. So, I don't know. I'm not really sure what this is about. I guess she was frustrating to fight, but I don't know. Viego has never had a high win rate, but his pick rate is always ludicrous. He's the most picked champion at every rank except for Bel'Veth at the low ranks, and he's just ludicrously overpowered. Man, it sure is good that we're going to be nerfing this Wukong champion later, right, everybody? This Wukong champion, it sure is good that we're nerfing him. At any rate, Viego's overpowered as fuck. And he does way too much sustain damage and burst damage, and is too tanky, and has a stealth, and has a stun, and has mobility, and... wait, what's his weakness again, Riot? I'm not really sure. He just sort of has everything. So his heal upon when he steals someone's soul, that heal is going down a little bit from 2.5 to 2%. That's a base amount, which is yeah. If he casts his E while he's charging W, he no longer instantly stealths, which is, it's a nerf, but like 90% of the time, I don't know. It was a good way to hide your stun, I suppose. Then his ultimate is losing some of its execute damage from 15 to 25 to 12 to 20. These are decent nerfs, I'll give you that, but the problem is still fundamentally, Viego is a tanky, burst, sustain damage, mobile, stealth, stun, mobility champion. This champion needed to lose something. Possibly his passive. I know that's his whole thing is possessing champions, but like goddamn, that shit is so weird. And like maybe just lower his sustain damage, right? Because like holy shit, it is so frustrating fighting this champion when he just goes runs up to you and then just starts going and you're like, wow, this is doing a shit fuck of damage for basically no reason. And he's also really tanky. And Viego's just in front of you, just and then you die. And you're just like, okay. Well, he was too tanky to burst, and he stealth plus stunned into me, plus had a gap closer, plus had a slow on that gap closer. Guess I died. Fair game. Yorick's Mistwalkers and Maiden of the Mist are also getting a slight stat package to help them keep up with the durability update. We're also adding a few tweaks to Yorick's Spectral Army to be more gas when positioned correctly. Even the Maiden won't be wander too far. Okay. This didn't really say anything. I don't know who wrote this, but they had no idea what they were talking about. Okay, so the big things with the update, the Mistwalker base health is going up. No one gives a shit. No one gives a shit with the Mistwalker base health. They die in one auto attack, and 90% of the time that's how they're gonna die. People auto attacking them. They rarely ever actually get AoE down. But I guess them getting more health does help them not get AoE down, but it doesn't, you know, like 90% of the time they're gonna die to auto attacks, okay? Their base movement speed is going up by 25. Now this one's really important. Their base movement speed was actually so low that what you could do as a champion, as any champion in the game, if you ever being chased by Mistwalkers, if there were like 4 Mistwalkers just going behind you, right? You could just slap one, walk away, slap another, walk away, slap another, walk away, slap another, and they'd all be dead. And the thing is, they were so slow that they literally would never actually auto attack you. You could literally kill all 4 of them and never take a single hit back. So increasing this movement speed that's really strong for Yorick. Potentially too strong. It also means that as the game starts progressing, you will have, they'll be able to chase down champions better, get in their damage better. They'll be able to, in the middle of a fight, reposition better, do stuff like that. So overall, this is a fairly good buff. Now, what they're doing for Eulogy of the Isles, apparently they were buffing Ivern's pet, so they had to buff everyone's. I don't know, man. So his pet is also getting 50 to 300 HP. Okay. Then it's getting from 70% of his health to 75% of his health. Once again, okay. But, okay, so this one's important for you Yorick mains. You're looking at this one. The leash range on Maiden of the Mist. Now, I did have someone actually explain this to me since I did a last video on this change. The leash range on Maiden of the Mist is going from 1600 to 1000, meaning instead of having to be 1600 distance away from Maiden to pull her out, you now only need to be 1000 range away. Now, what I've been told, the importance of this is when you hit someone with E and the Maiden starts diving under turret, you would basically have to run back to your turret to get her to stop chasing them under their turret, which got really frustrating. It became very difficult to keep Maiden alive if the opponent was under turret, because if you ever hit an E or if she ever started aggroing the opposing champion, she'd just like get a single track mind like a Master Yi player, and she'd just start like fucking like eyes wide open and just start running under the turret. The turret would be killing her and you're like, please stop, please stop, please stop, get out of the fucking turret. So the leash range going down actually is a good thing for her. Yuumi is getting, I'm gonna call this a nerf. I don't really think they call this shifting her stats around, but I think this is a nerf. Her bop and block, that's her passive, is going up by 40 to 20 shield, or say 4 to 20 shield. She's getting 4 to 20 shield on her passive, but then her heal is going down by 40. Okay. Then the movement speed on her E, that's the zoomies, when she goes, we got the zoomies, as you're just sitting there frustrated as fuck, like, I want to kill this fucking cat. There's like a Kain or a Katarina or something, and they're just running around killing everyone. We got the zoomies! Yeah, okay. So that ability, its movement speed is going from 15% to 20%, which is good. The heal nerf of 40 is pretty big though, and the shield of 4 to 20 is not pretty big. Will this equal out? Maybe. They originally didn't have this bonus movement speed when they unveiled the changes. Maybe this will equal it out, I'm not sure. But this is a fairly large nerf on the heal by 20. I don't think Yuumi is particularly overpowered. She's very high pick and ban right now, so a lot of people don't like her. So maybe it is good that she's getting nerfed. Sorry, I'm hiccuping here. So Yuumi, Masters Plus, everybody hates her. At all ranks, not everybody hates her. So maybe I should hate Yuumi more. I don't know. Maybe I should. Anyway, that's Yuumi. As for Zeri, Zeri's health regen growth is going up. Oh, they were originally going to increase her base health regen. Okay, so her damage... Sorry, her health regen as she levels up is going up, but her level 1 health regen is not going up. So this doesn't really impact her laning phase that much. Her W damage is going down. From 1.5 total AD to 1.3, and from 0.7 AP to 0.6. Then they're increasing the damage on it by 10 flat. But you have to remember, this is total attack damage, so 20% total attack damage will way outdo a 10 damage buff. So its damage is going down. They're just giving it a 10 damage buff, so it doesn't go down as much. Overall, I'm not sure this is going to be enough. Zeri is horribly overpowered right now. Literally, basically an auto win. As of the current patch, you can basically track which team is going to win based on which team has Zeri. So I don't think this is going to do nearly enough. I think Zeri is balanced like a 47 to 48% win rate. She currently has a 52. I truly believe whichever team has Zeri basically automatically wins this patch, and this is not really gonna stop that riot. So yeah. Night Harvester. Okay, so Night Harvester was buffed. I know I made a joke about this before, but I'm gonna make another joke about it. Can you guys think what Night Harvester didn't have in its build path? See, Night Harvester gave you 25 ability haste when you completed it, right? So it was good, right? No, boy, Night Harvester gives you 25 ability haste. In its build path, it had no ability haste. So you went from 0 ability haste, completed the item, and then had 25. Yeah, that was odd. So yeah, Night Harvester is not really a good item. It's okay. Some champions can sort of make use of it. That's about it for what I think of Night Harvester. Definitely a good buff to make it actually build out of a Fiendish Codex. This means that its build order is better now. I'm not really sure what else to say. Night Harvester just comes off as, what if Luden's Echo but worse? That's literally it. What if Luden's Echo but worse? Serpent's Fang is a small bug fix here. It applied additional shield reduction if the enemy had bonus heal and shield power. So Serpent's Fang is getting nerfed here. We expect the fix will lead to a non-trivial nerf, so we're calling out here instead. Yeah, see, that's the thing, right? If Serpent's Fang is getting a non-trivial nerf, maybe you should buff it up a little bit. Because the issue here is that if heal and shield power increase the amount of shield reduction that Serpent's Fang would get, then this is a very substantial nerf. And maybe you should have, like, buffed its lethality or its damage or something. I don't know. It just seems really odd that you're saying this will be a large nerf to an item that is already struggling. Oops. Ugh. Shadowflame. Okay, I've read through this and I literally don't understand this one. Okay. Shadowflame's additional magic damage based on ignored MR is no longer mitigated by target's MR. I don't know what that means. They do realize that, I don't know, apparently Shadowflame is getting buffed. Shadowflame, one of the best items in the game, is getting buffed. Serpent's Fang, one of a struggling item in the game, is getting nerfed. Just so everyone's aware, this item, which was struggling, nerfed. This item, which was being built on every champion, buffed. Everybody get it? There's no consistency. Don't worry, this is a joke. No, don't worry. Riot doesn't give a shit about balance. Predator. Okay, so the cooldown early game on Predator is going up. The damage early game on Predator is going down. The movement speed early game on Predator is going, well, down. Yeah. This is why I'm kind of odded out about Riot nerfing Singed mid. The movement speed late game and damage late game of Predator is going up, but the thing is that its early game is getting nerfed so hard that champions like Singed aren't going to be able to use this very well anymore. Okay, so this is an interesting change. Old jungle monsters and wards will now be visible instantly, even upon dashing or blinking into visible range. Basically, the server tick rate, which 90% of the issues in this game are always going to be server tick rate. The server tick rate of vision for jungle monsters and wards was so low, it was very frequent that you would walk into a brush, dash over a wall, do something like that, and then the ward wouldn't be visible for like a full second. Or the jungle camp wouldn't be visible for a full second. And you'd be sitting there like looking at your minimap like, wait, but the minimap says my camp is alive. Where is it? And then, oh, and then it appears randomly. Or you walk into a brush and then as you're walking out of the brush, you see the ward and you're like, oh, what? And then you, yeah. So apparently they're just increasing the server tick rate so you can actually see shit. Okay. SS Emporium does nothing with the content. I don't care. Behavioral system. Don't care. Don't care. They're adding more challenges. What challenges are they adding? ARAM Legend. Go legendary in ARAM games. The Jukes. Dodge 5 skill shots within 8 seconds. It was a near hit. Dodge skill shots in ARAM. Legendary Legend. Become legendary. Who needs them? Win games despite an AFK teammate. Shell collecting. Take down Rift Heralds. It goes on like that. They're just challenges. If you want to go look at them, go look at them. I'm not gonna, pause and then go look at it. Okay. I looked through all the bug fixes. The only one that was really that funny was fixed a bug where Olaf's E Reckless Swing could heal towers if he casted it on the same target that the tower was last hitting. So Olaf could heal his turret. I feel like that is funny. Really funny. Doran's Ring Drain passive has been restored and will properly regenerate health if you already have full mana. Wait, I didn't see this one. This one's actually pretty good. I would notice all the time that I have full mana, and then I'd hit someone with the Doran's Ring and I wouldn't be regenerating health, and I'd be like, huh? Okay, so as for skins and chromas, that's this patch. What do I think of this patch? Let's go over this patch actually in total. Let's go through it. So, in total, the summary. Amumu, that's good. Annie, maybe give her back her movement speed instead of just buffing her damage. Bel'Veth, not nearly enough. This champion is one of the worst designs I've ever seen. Horrible mistake releasing it. Put it back on the PBE and try a rework. Blitzcrank, give him back his health regen and armor. Don't just make him more of a one-shot champion. Dr. Mundo, yeah, whatever. Fiora, not nearly enough. A counter pick should not be a high pick. Heimerdinger, yeah, okay, we want the anti-melee champion to shit on melee even harder. Yay! Ivern, probably an overbuff. I'm 100% expecting this champion's gonna be top 20 with like a 52-53% win rate at Masters Plus. Definitely, in my opinion, probably definitely an overbuff. Janna, that's fine. A nerf on stats for a champion that needs nerfs on stats. Jarvan, I don't think this is going to do very much, but he's not really that underpowered right now. I don't think I even showed that. If you look at Jarvan, okay, he's very bad at Masters Plus. But I think at all ranks, he does a bit better, or am I crazy? No, he does not. Okay, yeah, this is not going to do enough for Jarvan. I think he's still going to suck after this. Okay, Katarina, I don't fucking know what rides. They're bored. You're bored, right? You're literally bored. Lucian, not what he needed. He needed his passive nerfed, his synergy with enchanters nerfed, not just his base AD and his damage on his Q nerfed. I don't know what they're doing. Seraphine, a little bit worried about this root duration / stun duration increase. Shaco, oh boy, making champions squishier to do more damage. I'm sure glad we did a durability update. Singed, is this really needed with the Predator nerf? I feel like the Predator nerf will pretty much clear up Singed mid. So I think Singed is probably not going to be that great now. Soraka, she's definitely going to be underpowered in my opinion. Viego, not nearly enough. I don't care. This champion's balanced at like a 47 to 46% win rate. This champion is like, when the skill floor on your champion is to know every single champion in the game, yeah, that's a very high skill floor, right? People that actually know Viego can play him very well because they know every champion in the game and can use all their abilities. Do you get that? Okay. Yorick, yeah, this is actually pretty good. I don't know how underpowered Yorick is. I'm not going to go look at it, but this is pretty good. Yuumi, this is definitely going to hurt Yuumi. Yeah, it's definitely going to hurt Yuumi. Zeri, not nearly enough. She's basically an auto win right now. I literally check which team has Zeri, and I think that team's going to win. Night Harvester, yeah, whatever. Okay, so let's go down here to skins then. Okay, so now we're on skins. Okay, let's turn my camera off so we can give us a proper look-see-dook-see. Is this Ashe? Oh, Snow Moon Caitlyn. I mean, okay, it's Caitlyn, I guess. This is continuing the saga of I literally don't know which female character is even in the skin anymore. I guess this is just the thighs and arm skin. I don't know. It kind of looks cool, but in-game, I'm sure when we actually look at it in-game, none of this detail is going to come across. Snow Moon Alawi. See, you can tell that's Alawi, though. Alawi is like a thick face, muscles and shit. Like, you can tell this is Alawi. That's the problem I have with 90% of these female characters. They don't even, like in anime and shit, what they'll typically do is give the female characters different hair color, maybe different features, like a tattoo or something, so you can tell them apart. Riot has never learned that. They don't even do hairstyles. They do different hairstyles every time, and yeah, I mean, it's not a bad skin line. I'd have to see it in game. This one actually looks like it could be pretty cool in game. Snow Moon Kane. What exactly are they going for here? This one kind of looks like it has like a Japanese influence going on now. It kind of looks like Blood Moon Aatrox. Is that what they're going for? Is Snow Moon just Blood Moon but new and better? I don't know. So yeah, okay. Ashen Knight Pantheon. Everyone's joking. This skin looks terrible. After seeing Ashen Knight Pike, a lot of people are really happy for Ashen Knight Pantheon. Then it was released and everyone was like, oh no. So Snow Moon Caitlyn. Yeah, that's what I was figuring. In-game, it's just not going to show. Like, if you actually look in-game, like, one, this looks actually really bad. Okay, I'm sorry. I normally don't just blatantly insult skins, but this actually looks legitimately bad. It looks like Orianna. Now that I'm actually looking at a game, it looks like someone gave Orianna a sniper. Someone just gave Orianna a fucking gun. That's his skin. What if Orianna had a gun? It doesn't even look good. It looks low quality. Snow Moon Alawi. Yeah, it looks okay. I'm not sure I'd buy it though. I'm not really sure what they're going for. It's got some cool, I mean, it's not bad. It's not as bad as the Caitlyn one. It's not bad. Would I call it good? No, but it's not bad. Maybe I'm just comparing it to the Caitlyn one and kind of being embarrassed about this Caitlyn one. But yeah, Snowmoon Alawi, it's not bad. I wouldn't call it good. Snowmoon Kane. I'd actually say this one's better because I feel like it's actually doing something, but we don't see the forms. Does anyone see the forms? The forms kind of matter with Kane. You can't just look at the base and then only that. The forms aren't here. As far as styling, I mean, I kind of like it. I'm not sure. I kind of like it. It's not bad. Ashen Knight Pantheon. I mean, what is this? Okay, the chroma actually doesn't look bad though, but that means you need to buy Ashen Knight Pantheon and then you need to buy his chroma. Which, okay, let me explain that. If you go up here, yeah, Ashen Knight Pike and Ashen Knight Pantheon's Ember Awakened chromas will receive updated via VFX in patch 12.18. Are we on patch 12.12? That feels like a long time from now. Okay. And then we have Final Boss Viger in his chroma. I don't hate it. It actually does look better. I'm not gonna lie, the chroma for Final Boss Viger actually does look better. I don't know why. I don't even like pink, but I think it looks better. Huh. Okay. Well, that's that then. So, what we're gonna do now is we are going to read my Patreon supporters. That's right, my Patreon supporters. Why are we going to read them? Because subscribing to my Patreon is a good way to make sure that I can continue to afford to do this. Yay! In the link in my description, you can find a link to my Patreon. For as little as $3 a month, you can support Hashinshin on Patreon. You can you can DM me and get your questions answered, and you can comment on all the posts that I make. Yay! So going from top to the bottom. Thank you, Ezequiel Quavez. Thank you, Monica. Vape Lord Volnir. 3 and a Hook. Emiru. Enthai. Blazin Rock. Christoph Marks. Crash Pinho. Firedigger. Guinea Shilbert. Greg RR. Guardian Lamartz. Horace the Burb God. Joseph Stalin. Josiah Davila. Kokirli. Malice. Mao Runner. Nortgron. Noxian Cyan. Omar Nunez. Philemon Landry. Quill of Anguish. Sophie. Sophisticated Fart. Destroy. Used Car Sales Ming. Adriano MDE. Mzarine. Ben. Another Ben. Ben G. I feel like you guys are doing that to mess with me. British Mapper. Calum Niche. Creador. Dengda. Daniel Fiala. Daniel Huertes. Daisy Mew. Devon Gill. Yadgod. Eric Petinili. Esteban Arias. Fell. Fanaku. Folyuki. Hentai with Senpai. Hune Arthur. Justicier. Kalfos Zeramar. Kavinsky. Kijubi. Naptrol. Ludwig III. Manuel. Metal Am Morgan. Negative KDA. Orhe Hall Khanite. Oz. PKZ. RH. Scorpion. Spook. Stickbird 34. Suki 02. Take One. Tenshi Kanha Shiza. Terra. Tomato. Under. Uvo Plaja. Villain. WLC League of Legends. Wolfman. Yan Shuchi. Adam Golding. Ching Ming Vang. Thank you all of you for subscribing to my Patreon and supporting this channel. Special shout out to all my YouTube members, and thank you all for liking and leaving comments and anything like that. Thank you, everybody. That should be about it for this video, so thank you all for being here. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Goodbye, everybody.